Life, where we care, we share, and we are on air. I'm your host Vismaya, and today we are diving into something incredibly simple yet absolutely powerful. Now, let me begin this show with a question. You don't have to answer this question, but I just want you to think. When was the last time you felt truly respected at work? And what exactly made you feel that way? Was it a word, a gesture, or simply being heard? Now, this brings to our today's topic, respect at workplace, through POSH, inclusion, and everyday behavior. Segment 1, we're going to discuss what does respect really mean? Respect isn't just about being polite to others, it's about how our actions land on others. Have you ever said something casually at work that felt normal to you, but later you realized maybe what was normal to you wasn't normal to someone else? That's the difference between intention and impact. Remember this line, respect is not what we intend, it is what others experience from us. Now, a manager walks into the office and says casually, "You're so quiet today. Is everything okay?" It's meant as concern, friendly, normal. The team moves on, but the person it's said to carries it all day. They wonder, do I always look disengaged? Am I being judged in front of others? No harm was intended here, but the impact was lingered for the rest of the day. Later, the same manager is surprised to learn that the comment felt uncomfortable. I didn't mean it that way, they say, and that's true. But respect doesn't live in what we mean. It lives in what others feel about what we said and what they felt from our actions. That's the gap between intention and impact. Respect is not what we intend, it's what others experience through us. Now in segment 2, let's discuss POSH, everyday awareness, which is not just a company policy. POSH is often seen as a company compliance topic. But at its heart, POSH asks only one powerful question. Would I be comfortable if someone spoke to my sister, my daughter, colleague, friend the same way I am speaking now? Now take a pause. Sometimes we consider whatever being spoken as a joke. Sometimes we find people laughing at our jokes. One person goes silent. Now let's imagine one person has gone silent. The question is, was this person silent because he felt little less confident enough to speak up? If not, what can we do to make our workplace safer for voices that need to be heard? POSH is about prevention. It is not about reaction. Now, let me narrate a story here. During a routine workday, a casual joke is cracked in a team, which is meant to be harmless. A few people may laugh, but there may be people or a person who doesn't laugh, who doesn't show any kind of reaction to this. Now they look down at their screen, their camera goes off, they stop participating. Anything of this sort can happen. Nothing gets reported. No rule was technically broken, but something shifted. Now, what was this something that got shifted? Later, when someone asked this person, he said, I didn't want to be the difficult one. I wasn't sure of it, whether it was worth speaking up. That's where POSH really lives. It's not an escalation on emails or committees, but in the silent moment when someone wonders, if I speak up, will I be supported or will I be singled out? POSH is not just about stopping a bad behavior, it is also about creating an environment where no one has to choose between safety and belonging. That's why POSH is always about prevention and not reaction. It's about pausing before we speak, noticing who's that person who's gone quiet, and choosing to respect even when no one is watching us. Now, the segment 3, where we are going to talk about inclusion. Who gets the space? Inclusion is not about inviting people in. It's about not pushing them out intentionally. In meetings, do you often speak up first or last or not at all? And have you ever wondered why? Why don't people speak up first? Why don't people speak up last? Or why don't people speak up at all? Now let me pose a scenario in front of you. Now the scenario talks about no idea, no response. Same idea, different person, applause. Have you ever seen this happen? Have you ever benefited from it without even realizing it? Now imagine in a team meeting, a junior team member softly suggests an idea. There's a brief pause. No one in the team acknowledges, no one in the team questions. There is no discussion, but the meeting moves on. A few minutes later, a senior team member repeats the same idea, almost every word from what the junior has said. This time, you see heads nodding. Someone says, that's a great point. That idea gets approved instantly. Now the junior team member stays silent for the rest of the meeting. Why does he stay silent? Not just because he has nothing to say, because he's learned that something unspoken that day, something that was not spoken that day. Who gets heard, who gets overlooked. The senior person did not intend to exclude anyone. The team did not realize that they had done it. But inclusion slipped, not just through malice, but through habit. Now that's the quiet truth behind inclusion. It's often not about denying the space, it's about noticing who consistently gets that space and who doesn't. Inclusion starts with awareness, being aware of the situation. Now let's get into our segment 4. Everyday behavior that builds a culture at workplace. Now, culture is shaped in smaller moments. How do you respond to someone when someone makes a mistake? Do you correct them or embarrass them in front of everybody? Do your emails and messages sound respectful even when you're stressed or in a hurry? People may forget deadlines, but they never forget how you made them feel because of a mistake or a disrespectful moment. Now the reflection around here. Let's do a quick internal check. Would I speak the same way if my manager was present? Would I feel safe in my authentic self at work? Am I a part of a solution or silently part of the problem? No right answer, no wrong answer. Only the honest ones. Please ask these questions to yourself. Now, let me narrate a small story here. A team member makes a small mistake in a report. Nothing critical, but this can be fixed within minutes. Now, the manager notices this mistake in a meeting and corrects the person publicly with a sharp tone. The mistake gets fixed, but something else breaks in the same meeting. From that day onwards, the team member double checks everything, not out of excellence, but out of the fear. They stop asking questions. They stop sharing early drafts. Innovation slows down. Not because of lack in ability, but because they don't feel safe. In another team, the same mistake happens. The manager sends a private message. I noticed this. Easy fix. Let me know if you want to talk through it together. Same correction, but a different culture here. This is how culture is built in a workplace. Not through policies, not through posters, but in tone, timing, intent. Many people forget deadlines, but they never forget how you made them feel. Now, respect is not about fear. It's about care. Care in words, care in tone, care in behavior. Now, let me leave you with the final interactive thought. What is the one small behavior you can change today to make your workplace more respectful? Because change doesn't start with a policy, it starts with you. Thank you for listening, and let's practice respect at work. Not occasionally, but every single day. Until next time, stay focused, stay balanced, and stay emotionally fit. Signing off. That's all for today's Quick Brain session. I'm your host, Vismaya. Join me next Thursday at 5:30 p.m. for yet another simple concept that leads you into an extraordinary growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Vismaya.